So what we have here is Bradbury's beach. So if you see in the background over there, that is Moreton Bay Research Station. So this is the station that's owned by the University of Queensland. So this is why we're out here. What you'll probably notice, it's not that energetic. So this is a tide dominated environment. It's over here, so we have the station over here because it was initially a biological research station, so you don't necessarily want to be exposed. For beach processes, where you want to see big waves moving things around, it's probably not, you know, as energetic as you might want to be at, but it does show a lot of different things that are of interest if you ever end up working in this kind of environment. So what we have is pretty muddy looking sediment that I'm sitting in at the moment, so you can dig your foot in pretty easily. It almost looks like mangrove sediment. It does get a little bit, you know, more dominated by sand over a bit further on the mudflat. We actually got evidence, a lot of evidence of stingray pits as well. So there's a lot of biological activity down here. So it's kind of tidally dominated environment, not very energetic, but we have this really clear distinction of a beach here. So this is in our morphodynamic classification. We call this a reflective beach with a mud flat out the front. So it's basically reflective beach plus mud flats. And the reason you have a beach here is that despite this being a low energy environment, we're looking, as it's progressively going out to low tide at the moment. At high tide though, the water level could be 1 or 2 meters above these, well, the water level will be 1 or 2 meters above where it is at the moment. So all of these mud flats will be covered, maybe up to your waist at maximum. But that means you can get waves propagating across these mud flats and making it all the way to the shore, and then you get wave breaking and run up on the shoreline here. So whenever you find something that's a little bit vertical, or not vertical, sorry, has a gradient on it that looks like this, there's a gradient there, you most likely have wave processes that's creating run up. So this is the beach environment we're in here at the moment. So this is facing kind of to the southwest. If you actually look further out, you maybe can't see it, but right out on top of where my finger is, there are another set of what almost looks like a beach, but it's like a sand spit. So that's out at low tide. Because it's at low tide, and the tide tends to be at slack water at high and low tide, it spends more time out there. There's actually sand that builds up over there as well, a bit like a beach. So that's the high tide kind of like sedimentary sandy deposit driven by waves, and there's actually one further out as well, and in between you have this kind of mud flat environment. So if we were going to define this is a tidally dominated environment. It's probably not all that dynamic. So it's a tide dominated or tide modified system with only a kind of minimal influence of waves, but there's enough to build some beach systems. And actually behind here there's a bit of this flat area, which is kind of indicative of this beach perhaps prograding. So vegetation comes out, progrades this beach, and it's been moving out over time. I don't know how long, we haven't done that kind of research or studying out here, but oh, there's a massive pelican flying in. Very cool. Massive, massive birds. Yeah, so if you get something that looks a bit like this, while you don't 100% know, it's usually indicative that this has been building out at some point over time. And that is Bradbury's beach. So one of your beach surveys is of this beach environment. You can see the surveys going on at the moment. So this is where you get all your profile data from. And the size of this beach will look very different to our wave exposed beaches as well, but that is Bradbury's beach.